Hello folks, I'm Colonel Failure and this is Factorio. You join me just as I'm waiting for the latest tech research to be done, which is a little bit more gun damage. Not that I'm particularly under threat at the moment, you understand, but forearmed is forewarned, or something. There's the common phrase used. Anyway, I'm looking at the resource sorting area at the moment, and as you can see, we've got a tremendous amount coming in. I have 2 chests here, which are basically just left over there to catch resources that make it through the belt system. And it also means that should I run dry on anything at a particular moment, then I do have some backup resources just kicking around. Although, admittedly, 8 iron plate is not going to get me very far. But likewise, I'm picking up plenty at the moment, and as you can see, we are queued all the way around the entire system. This is not the smart factory I had aimed to build, but it is, it's ticking along quite nicely. And, the fact that I'm running 8 research centres at the moment and they're all fully stocked is a pretty good measure of that. So we're not in any danger of running out of resources very soon. Admittedly, this iron field is not going to last me forever. So I do need to replace that. Oh, we just had some mischief going on up here. So as you can see, my starter wall has come about largely as a result of alien incursion, although not enough to warrant any significant concern right now. But yeah, once this turret turret damage is upgraded, I shall walk you through where we're going to go next, because I desperately want to get to the point where I'm not overusing power, and that's one of the benefits of operating in a smart fashion actually gets you. So, I mean, as much as I'm producing power aplenty at the moment, in order to cover what I need, I want to reduce it wherever possible, and that means that in a situation like we're in now, where all the belts are effectively stuffed full of goods, the mines shouldn't be producing. Basically, I want my mines to switch off until such a time as there's demand, or ideally just before there's demand for the thing that they produce, and that in turn will save me the resources going into them. That, and of course, as I progress through the game, I'm going to need to start thinking blue flasks pretty soon. Which means that this humble manufacturing area, I mean, look, one assembly machine working on green circuits, that's never going to be enough. But it is right now while I'm still chewing through the red-green phase of the game. But I've got to start thinking soon, otherwise I will run out of resources and be in desperate need of gathering more and in a hurry. In fact, I could probably, while we're just sitting here, I could probably up the tempo a little bit, not least of all on iron. Anyway, where are we? What have we got? What have we got available? Advanced electronics, that's probably not a bad one to go for. Likewise, engine, likewise, all of this stuff. Right, we'll do this one. It's cheap. I'll have it done in moments. But my main goal right now is to get oil running soon. Because I mean, even before I need it, I can start tanking it up. Because it's not like it goes to waste. So that's going to be my next. Let's have a look and see if we've got the tech. I can't remember if I've researched it or not. Evidently, not. Right, that's what I'll work towards unlocking then. We'll get oil systems running, and we'll go from there. As you can see, with 8 research labs on the go, we are burning through this next research project. So, that's going to keep us ticking along nicely. So I'm going to need to think blue flasks relatively quickly if I want to keep up this pace of what research, I guess. That's what I want to keep the pace up of. I need a bit more belt here. Right, okay, here we go. What's this? Robotics? No, we're not there for robotics yet. Where's advanced material processing? Electric furnace. Yes, I want electric furnaces. Won't be able to make them because I need plastic for an electric furnace, and that requires oil. Hence my thinking, hey man, why not think about researching some oil? Where was I going? Get a bit more belt, and then get that copper mine operational. fact, let's get a load more belt. It's not like we haven't got the resources to replace that with at the moment. But again, want to remain somewhat frugal so that I don't run completely dry. That would not be ideal. But I'm still fairly confident at the moment. I also had a peek down at the coal mine situation a couple of minutes ago, and there's plenty in there for now. But again, I want to be thinking about moving onto solar energy and capacitors and all of the good stuff. They don't call them capacitors; they call them accumulators or something along those lines. So yeah, I want to be thinking along those lines relatively soon. Now this little box full of wood here, I'm using as a supplement to my coal distribution, purely because I'm not going to use it all otherwise. So I'm just feeding it into the general system, which will help with general usage. And as you can see, as I move it up here, it feeds into my overall. There you go. See, look, here's a big chunk of wood going on there, but it feeds into the overall business of smelting. We might as well head up to the smeltery, and then I'll look at what I actually need for oil refining next. Largely because it's a complete faff to set up, and you know, I don't want to be in a position where I'm waiting for the setups to complete. The goal is to have plenty of sulfur and plastic and batteries and what have you in stock by the time I need them. Not least of all because I want to be able to turn this area into a smelting setup that's probably 2, 3, maybe 4 times the size. Because I'm going to need, in order to kind of advance through the blue flask, say that quickly, why don't you, stage of the game, I am going to want to ramp up my production. It may look like I'm producing a heck of a lot here, but frankly, I'm really not. And if you look at the resource queue going in, so all of these ores going through, let's zoom in just a smidge, you know, it is moving along at max speed. There is not hitting a queue point. And as if to demonstrate, and actually largely because I'm waiting for research to finish, we'll go all the way there and we'll show this. Just, you know, it's chugging along quite merrily, you know, fairly constantly. I'm not even running that many smelteries at the moment, furnaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. So I'm running 12 furnaces at the moment. I could possibly get another one in here, or rather another 2. Let's do it. Let's get that going. In fact, nothing's even reaching the bottom ones. All right, that was wasted production on my part. Well, we can get some more resources running. Let's see how we get on. Right, inserters. There we go, a bit like that, and a bit like that, and one of those, and one of these, and delete you. Come here, where are you? No, put that back down. Grab that one. There you go. And this is, I mean, this is obviously a preferred way for me to build is one that is rapidly modular. So I can just extend off. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get some of those on the go while I finish this off. Yeah, so I can extend out very, very quickly. And are you going to play ball, or are you going to try and do some? No, you're going to play ball. That's what we like to see. Right, you are going to grab. In fact, let's power this up. There we go. Now, I'm going to have to up my my input in order to get the benefit out of these, but we can certainly get it moving so that the capacity is right there. And then with these speedy belts here, what I'll do is I'll run it up here so that ore reaching ground there gets a turn of speed. Now, this isn't actually going to accomplish very much. It will keep the kind of the primary input belt going along at a fair lick, but it's a bottleneck effectively. So going from slow belt into fast belt doesn't really earn you anything at all, other than it moves through more rapidly. So the bottleneck is still as narrow as it was before, and we can see that by the fact that, you know, 3 out of those 4 final furnaces aren't really doing anything. Right, that's advanced oil processing. Where's basic? I'm going to need fluid handling, which requires oil processing, which I can do now. Let's do it. Right, so we'll go fluid handling after we do oil processing. That way we'll have the ability to store the stuff that I'm digging up initially, and I can probably get moving then on what exactly? On the manufacture of plastic, man. That's, you know, that's what we want to do. And then electric furnaces, and then, you know, we up the tempo, and we start to look for more resource delivery places. Mines? Is that the word you were looking for? Could be. Right, how are we doing on power? Almost maxing out, but we're still within tolerance. And obviously, as I up the tempo on output here, we're going to decrease the lifespan of this field overall. But none of it goes to waste. It's one of the real strengths of the game is that nothing is ever thrown away. Is this a good idea? Yes, it is a good idea. We use both sides of the belt. Alright, we're going to need to move that and then belt down here. No, like this. There you go. Fantastic. All right. Well, that's a ridiculous amount of ore coming out of there now. And again, this would benefit from being fast belted as well. Let's get 3 on the go. And then what am I short? I'm short iron. Well, I'm not really. Let's just hoover this lot up. And while we're about it, let's drop some of that in there. Good. Right. How many more can we make? 12. All right. I'll take the lot. So where I'm actually going to want to speed up is probably around here. Again, it's not going to accomplish very much, but what that will introduce is gaps. So it means that if I ever get a backlog of copper coming in, the very fact that I mean, as you can see, if I move right in here, which is far closer than anybody really needs to be, it does create spaces, and into those spaces I can insert iron ore. So it means that I should never be in a position where I'm deficient to the tune of, well, one particular resource over another, because that's when the problems occurred. I mean, you know, am I looking to place fast belt now just for the sake of it? Good, right, oil processing, excellent. Fluid handling next, please, thank you. Let's get this show on the road. All right, so what are we looking for here? We need stone, iron, well, stone brick I'm good, steel plate, I've got some, let's get some more. And gears, because I can't be bothered to make them myself, I shall just I shall take the output of this particular factory. Right, that'll probably keep me going for a little while, and I think I got a reasonable chunk of iron at the same time. So I'm going to run off 2 pump jacks to start with, because we don't need to get carried away. Equally, let's think about this. So, I mean, these are obviously oil patches. You may or may not be familiar with them being oil patches, but that's what they are. And it's the complicated aspect in terms of working with oil is it's not the happiest resource to play with when it comes to laying out nicely. Let's have all of this. Let's grab everything we've got left over at the moment, because it's not like I don't go through iron plate like there's no tomorrow. Right, so I'm going to hook these up, and then the question is, which ones am I going to hook up? Let's hook up quite a distance off, and that will give me some room to manoeuvre. Are we there? Almost. And then after that, we're going to want a refinery. Yeah. Do I want a refinery next? Not really. No, I think before the refinery I'm going to want tanks, but that's not going to stop me building one, is it? And then I'm going to need a couple of chemical plants. So I'll get those queued up building while we're setting up here. And you see, I didn't think that through, because I should have built pipe next. That would have been something I could use. There we go. Let's just stop that and then build a bit of pipe. I'm using the scientific method of click until I think I've got it bad enough. And then obviously I used a whole bunch up because I built an underground one as well. In fact, I'm going to put my new armour on. There we go. And then, where are we? Back here. Right, we need 1 refinery and 2 chemical plants, please. If you would be so kind as to knock those out, that would be grand. Right, so in the first instance, what I'm going to do is run these pipes into tanks, just so that they have somewhere to store the oil in a queued up fashion. Now that can lead to trouble because queuing anything in this fashion, whether you're storing it on a belt or otherwise, you can find yourself in a position of complacency. I know, dreadful. Where you believe everything's fine, but actually you're no longer inputting anything into the system, and as a result, you're living on borrowed time, effectively. So, for example, if I were looking at these belts now, but I was completely unaware that my mines had run dry, I would think, hey, everything's great. And then, as you walk along, you suddenly find that everything's empty, and you go, oh. And then you find you haven't got the resources to replace it, so you end up mining yourself, which is the least amount of fun one can have in their spare time. Right, good. So, where now? Waiting for fluid handling. Oh, come on. How much iron have I got left? I've got plenty of iron. I've got a reasonable amount of copper. I'm in good shape. Let's stick this on here around this chest. And I definitely don't need those. In fact, I think I might just sling a dumping chest down here. And I don't approve of dumping chests as a principle, but I have to admit they do come in handy. Right, good. Fluid handling also good. Engine might be nice. Solar power would definitely be helpful. Lab efficiency, I can't complain about that either. Or, well, see, there we go. Advanced oil processing is coming up, and that needs blues. And there's plastics. We do need plastic. So let's do plastic. It's the future. Yeah, that'll probably do the trick. Actually, no, I don't need that as well. Smashing. And then we'll just go down here quickly and bung this coal in there. Certainly not doing me any good being carried around. Okie doke, right, so now we've got the ability to make tanks. Let's whiz a couple up. I think 4 will do the trick. So I'll run 4 tanks that will basically just handle crude oil. That will be their life. And then from there, I'll feed that into the refinery so that it can be split into heavy, light, and petrochem. Testing my memory there. I don't know. I'll figure it out in a minute. Where are we? If we want 4, we want to do it something like that. There we go. Nice gurgling, sloshing noise in the background. Get some more pipe going. And then we'll hook this up. There we go. And then we just need the power, obviously enough. Bit of power, and this is going to start to, I'm very much as you've probably noticed, I've checked on my power situation a couple of times already in this episode, and it's because I'm very aware that I'm on I'm pushing the limit as far as what I can, it looks like I'm probably generating 3.1. There we go. And yeah, it flicks around. So I'm right at the limit of the amount of power that I'm generating. So hooking up this this refinery is going to push me over the edge. Now, what have I got running at the moment that I don't need? Actually, I'm nowhere near running everything. All right, well, problems are coming up. And also, I think the rate at which I've been researching lately has started to push me into almost into a kind of a deficit area on red flasks. Now those blues, I've just taken those off, largely because I'll use those. I don't need fast inserters on research centres, and these regular inserters, they use just slightly. So if I stick one of these down, where are we? Drain 400 watts versus 400 watts. Energy consumption is 13 kilowatts versus 33 kilowatts. Now, someone somewhere at some point, I recall, said that actually the speed at which a fast inserter moves is such that you end up using roughly the same amount of power. But I'm a believer in the bog basic inserter using just fractionally less, and that's going to make absolutely no difference to anything. But you know, I feel all ecological having done so. I feel like I'm borderline saving the planet. And aliens are keep coming. I do question if I've actually got enough firepower up here. But, you know, the rate at which they're going through ammunition, it seems to be fine. Okay, cool. So let's, even if I don't switch it on, I think I'm going to hook up my my next startling activity, and I'm going to want it to turn this corner, I think. So what we'll do is we'll run from the tank situation we've got going on here, and these should all feed into each other. These 4 tanks. So emptying one will load balance between the 4 of them, and over time you will empty all 4 out. Yeah, out of pipe again. Fortunately, it's pretty quick to build. There you go. So once we do that, we tell it to do basic processing, which is going to, you know, see, look, topped up immediately. It is, what is that? Is that petrochem, or is that, I can't remember if petrochem is the resource you get after refining or before. And then we'll run another 3 tanks out the other side of that, because I'm not going to use all 3 resources that it splits out immediately. I may go the solid fuel approach, which is it's a good replacement for coal if you're still using the, you know, let's burn things in order to use furnaces approach to life. But I want to switch to electric with solar generation behind it as quickly as possible, because that lasts forever. Okay, right. Where are we? So I'm going to want 3 tanks. We'll stick 1 down here, 1 in the middle, and 1 at the top. And it's almost like the game designers, in this case, purposefully made it so that you couldn't do it perfectly symmetrically. And for some reason I've got 4 tanks rather than 3. Oh well, there's no harm in having a spare, because I'll definitely use them. Right, I'm going to get solar panels up. That will be my next research task, because then even if I only use it during the day, it will allow me to have a period of peak power usage. See, look at this, ridiculous. I mean, I could put my tank somewhere else, given that I haven't even switched it on yet. And you know what? I'm going to put my tank somewhere else. It's happening. That's a thing I'm doing. And we'll go. Is this going to give me room to maneuver? It will give me room to maneuver. In which case, why build them so far away? What do we think? Far enough? Probably far enough. Right, so we'll do that one, and then let's do the far one next, just for the sake of it. Lots more pipe, please. Oh yeah, that was the smart thing. Fortunately, I can still reach. No. Come on, this is a relatively straightforward. You're not even doing anything complicated yet. All right, so I can power that up anytime, and all 3 of the different cracked resources will come out of the oil. And I'm going to wrap it up there for this time, because I want to, my next step is going to be to kind of rapidly escalate in terms of what I'm making as we push towards blue flasks. And before I even start contemplating such nonsense, I want to get electric furnaces up and running, and I want to start thinking about where are my next resource fields. And actually, a quick stop by the map before I adios myself here. We've got iron down here, not in great quantities, but not bad. A little bit more over there, and obviously we haven't found an alien nest yet, so radar might be a worthwhile investment. Copper, however, is going to be more tricky. These patches are all kind of small, so I'm going to need to do some exploring, and that means importing things by train, which is always fun. Anyway, tune in next time and we'll make a little bit more progress. We'll start to get into the building of something monstrously complicated relatively soon, but we're working up to it. So chuck us a subscription so that you don't miss out on future episodes as they come up, and chuck us a like on this video, because that's a thing that's nice to do. And I'll catch up with you very soon. Thanks for watching. Cheerio.